opening statement.
Yeah, felt like a heavyweight fight, going toe to toe and trading blows, blow for blow. And Wake Forest has obviously a very good team. They're having a banner year, and they have an elite team with elite players and a bunch of playmakers, a bunch of really good hitters, really good pitchers, and they were that much better than we were tonight. And we were right there. Had the tying run at third and the winning run at second, and a very good hitter at the plate ourselves. Their second baseman made a heck of a play, but the reality is look a little deeper into it. We walked and hit him 10 times, and if Nick Clayton didn't really stabilize things there in those early to middle innings, that game could have got sideways really quick. So we had some clutch hitting. Riley Bertram had the clutch 2-run, 2-out RBI, and we pitched out of some massive jams to hold them to 4 runs, knowing that we walked and hit them 10 times. And in addition to the hits that they got, we pitched out of some big time jams. So, but it just wasn't good enough. There's no moral victories for keeping it close, and we've just got to be that much better so we can find a way to come out on top on these close games and not have this feeling it's too many times now to have a tie game or have a lead late and feel like it slips away. So, but it's I'm just going to be a broken record here and say that this is going to be the thing that's going to make us resilient and tough. It's going to callous our minds, and we just need to keep getting back up, and keep fighting, and keep throwing punches, and keep being aggressive, and we will get through this.
Questions for Nick Clayton?
Nick, career high 8 strikeouts for you. Seems like you really embraced this role as a middle reliever. How thrilling is it, and how much do you enjoy the challenge of coming out, in a bases loaded situation like you did and getting 2 strikeouts to strand them?
Just what you come to Clemson for, honestly. Big part of what the recruiting process was, and just knowing that you can get in those big moments like that. Thought we pitched well. I thought we played well today. Got to find a way.
What's your mindset as a pitcher against a really good scoring team like Wake, or top 10 in scoring, top 10 in home runs? What's the mindset?
Just got to get ahead. We're a really good staff whenever we get ahead, and just get ahead, stay ahead, finish guys. We get 2 strikes.
Any other questions for Nick? All right, thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, another heartbreaker, like you said, you were right there in it. What was your message to the team afterwards?
Just that we're this close, and keep their heads up, and it's going to turn. There's going to be something that happens. Fortunately, I've got some experience just with being in a program like Michigan, where it was wasn't always you could just jump out to a great start, and you kind of had to find your identity as the season went along and figure some things out. And that's what this feels like. This feels like a team that we're still figuring things out, and we're still finding our identity and finding our way, so to speak. But nobody has lost belief, and that was another message to them. That's just to know that we can. Something's going to happen on the field that's going to be a turning point to where we're going to be on the positive side of these close games. But all these close games where they are the heartbreakers that we've fallen short in, those are the things that are callousing our minds and making us resilient, making us tough. And when the turning point does happen and we do get hot, it's going to be hard to stop us. So we just that belief that we know it's coming, and we need to make it happen.
Is there a trend you're seeing as far as what's causing some of those kind of losses in close games, or is it just a
Well, the heartbreakers are when the game's tied, or we have the lead after the 7th, and we've had quite a few of our losses now where it feels like that. There's only been a handful of losses that where it just felt like, you know, we just flat out got beat. You know, the Sunday game against South Carolina, the Georgia Tech Saturday game, you know, those are the two where it was, you know, it didn't feel like, you know, we just got beat. And everything else just feels like there's been a couple of things here or there. Even last night's game, you know, it was a 5-3 game or 5-2, whatever it was. It was a close game until the pinch hitter came in and hit the 3-run homer in the 8th. So, you know, we felt like we were right in it. But all the games, we've just, you know, been right there. And, you know, you could pinpoint, you could go, but this is what we do as coaches. This is what drives us nuts, is because there isn't just the one thing. It wasn't just the leadoff hit by pitch in the 9th inning, and that's why the guy scored, and that's why we lost. It was, you could go back and replay, you know, so many things. You know, not tagging up on the sac fly. You know, if we tag up at second, we get to third, and maybe that's another run score. There's just a lot of little things like that that never show up in the stat book. It's not always the obvious, the homer or the, you know, the walks and the hit by pitches. But those are the things we'll show on video, and those are the things we'll keep training and keep improving. And that's the only, you know, way I know how to do it, is just to get back in here tomorrow and have a classroom session and show them video and show them, you know, the things that we can improve upon, the things we did well, and just keep getting better.
Coach, you're 5 outs away from winning tonight. Similar situations against Duke and Georgia Tech. How much does it hurt not having a dominant closer in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Jackson Lindley's competing his butt off. He's been good in those spots, and you know, the guys that are going in there, you know, Nick Clayton's been in high leverage situations. Reed Garrett's been in high leverage situations. I mean, it'll be nice when Ammons comes back, of course, but you know, those guys that they've done a really good job. You know, and we're, you know, it's close, but you know, this isn't Clemson hand grenades. It's Clemson baseball, so close doesn't count. So you know, it'll be nice when, you know, some guys, Casey Talent comes back, Brian Ammons comes back, Billy Barlow comes back. You know, it'll be great when we're fully healthy on the mound. But you know, nothing. You can't take anything away from the effort that those other guys, Lindley, Garris, Clayton, Weiss, those guys that are going into those big spots. They're competing hard.
You get a little surprised to see their closer almost throw over to first base when it was empty over there.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone in the park was screaming balk, but the umpire actually had it right. You know, he stepped off, he didn't throw. If he would have thrown, then it would have been a balk because there's nobody, the base was unoccupied. But he didn't throw, and he stepped off, and it's no different than, you know, you can disengage from the rubber and step off. That's no big deal. But I think because he raised his arm, it caused everyone, myself included, to question it for a second, because it just, you know, you didn't expect that to happen. But yeah, that was the right call, and there was no balk there.
Were you expecting the squeeze play from them there in the 6th?
Yeah, we knew that's in their bag of tricks. They safety, and they sometimes safety with a drag bunt, which is a little unorthodox. Usually want to go to the first base side, but yeah, we've shown video of their bunters and their bunt plays, and so we were ready for it, and you know, kind of expected it, so to speak. But you just got to collect outs there on wet field at that time of night. And, you know, we've seen that too, where you don't collect outs on a bunt, and you know, things go haywire. So, but we did fine, you know, fielding the bunt and doing that stuff. I mean, you know, we were in a position to win and just didn't get that big hit late, and so yeah, everything's magnified that happens before that.
I know you feel really good about the roster going into the year. Do you feel like it's been a mixture of injuries and also just a young team kind of trying to figure out how to win games?
Yeah, I've never questioned the physical talent, and I still don't question the physical talent. I still think we have a physically talented team. I think we're just still finding our identity. We're still finding our way. We're still, you know, making improvements that neck up stuff, of how to slow the game down, of how to respond to adversity, of how to handle those, you know, those big situations when, you know, the game does start to speed up. And those are things we'll continue to work on, because essentially those are, you know, that's how you win championships. It's not necessarily because somebody's, you know, just dominant physically. It's the team that can play the most consistent that usually is going to do the best, and that consistency has to, you know, filters down from a strong mental game.
How much of finding an identity has been just arms coming in and out of the lineup, and I guess having to use guys in so many different roles.
Yeah, that's been part of it. I mean, this struggle is very much going to define, this journey that we're on. It's going to be a big part of our story. If this ends up like we think it's going to end up, where we do get hot and we use all this adversity in the first half of the season to really strengthen us and build that resiliency and build that toughness, then yeah, all those pitchers that have all pitched in all different roles, as spot starters to high leverage relievers to matchups to whatever. I mean, those are all experiences that are going to be extremely valuable for when any situation arises later in the season that we've been in. There's nothing that we will have seen. We'll have seen, physical teams that hit home runs. We've seen fast teams. We've seen pitchers with, high 90s and plus stuff. I mean, there's just nothing we haven't seen. And because of the schedule we've played, this first half of the season, we've played a monster schedule. I mean, the ACC is always going to be tough, but, there's a reason why our strength of schedule is in the top one or two or three, whatever it is. Yeah, we got the number 2 or 3 strength of schedule in the country. I mean, it feels like it, right? But it's all things. We've been taking our lumps, but it's going to make us better, But where we're going to be and where we are now, and bridging that gap, that's going to be where we find our identity to get there, and where we just keep as coaches, we keep plugging away, we keep teaching, we keep coaching, we keep helping our guys get better, we keep showing video.